Hi, welcome to So Mindful Podcast. So my name is Courtney, and just doing quick introductions today. So we've got
Kelvin, hello.
And Mick, hello.
Hello everybody. How is everyone today?
We're all good, yeah.
Good. You're asking
excited
us.
to be excited to get the podcasting going after the however many takes we've done.
It takes so many.
Yeah. So do you want to do a bit of an introduction?
Well, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Courtney. I work with Elevated Excellence Education. We've done many workshops down at So Mindful Crafts. So me and Kelvin work together. So talk about a bit about yourself, bud.
Yeah. So we do community workshops, music production, and DJ skills mainly around Doncaster, and we've just opened a studio in Bentley in Doncaster as well, where we're teaching and recording artists, all that good stuff.
Plug it in.
And then Mick.
Oh, right, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about So Mindful Crafts and how we got into wanting to do the podcasts.
Because it's not about us, really, is it? So let's.
Well, I just thought this was then like Elevated Excellence show. Do you know what I mean? So it's.
Well,
I would just leave you to it. You know, I'm happy to just sit here and listen to you guys. So
you want to be asking the questions? I mean, here you go. I've got some notes if you want.
Yeah.
Switch roles.
So I am Mick from So Mindful Crafts. We're a non-profit organisation based in Edlington, Doncaster. For anybody who's listening who's not heard of So Mindful Crafts before, we just run a range of workshops from crafts, sewing, we do music production workshops, we do IT workshops, we have a men-only group on a Thursday night. So we do a lot of different workshops to meet different people's sort of like interests. But the other thing is what's an important thing to us is it's about mental health side of things. You know, I know not everybody suffers with their mental health, but a lot of people do. And what we tend to find is a lot of people then who tend to suffer with anxiety and low mood, etc., usually then have sort of like low self-esteem or low confidence. So what we try to work on is literally giving people opportunities to try different things out in a sort of safe, supportive environment with everything provided for you in a way that then we can help to build up your confidence over sessions, so that then you'll find then as your confidence builds, then your mental health and well-being, to improve, and you're sort of like you're on a bit of a win-win situation with that. So
I just want to pick up on something you just said, that you do a variety of different things. We're doing a podcast right now, so let's actually get onto this point. What made you decide to do a podcast in the first place?
That is a really good question. I think what it is I think with how things are today, a lot of people, especially younger generations as well, like listening to podcasts, don't they now? They're very popular, and audio books, and you know what I mean? Because I'm not the world's best reader with stuff, and I couldn't sit and read a book, but I could sit and listen to an audio book, or I'd sit and listen to a podcast, because they are sort of quite popular, aren't they, at the moment? You guys must listen to podcasts.
That's what I do as well. Most of my books are audio books. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's the way how things are, isn't it?
And it's also the fact that, you can kind of listen to an audio book or a podcast while you're doing other things. So you could be cooking, you could be in the gym and it's motivating you, or, various different things.
Yeah, 100%. So the idea behind the podcasting, what I wanted to do is I didn't want it to be a podcast that's all about So Mindful Crafts. I want this to be a community podcast, so that the idea for a community podcast would be that each week when we're doing it, because it's going to be every Tuesday, isn't it? We're going to be doing this podcast.
Every Tuesday.
Yeah. So the idea then is we want to invite people along. So anybody listening now to this podcast, if you're still on with us, then we're doing something right, aren't we?
Of course they will. Of course they will.
So basically, if there's anybody out there or knows of anywhere, any organisations, businesses, anybody starting up, anybody who's got any interesting stories they want to tell me, anything, who wants to have a little slot on our podcast, then, drop us a comment, because we'd love to hear from you. And so the idea behind it is we want to become that sort of like almost community information, so you know what's going off in your area. So the thing is then is a bit like you guys, Elevated Excellence, people might not have heard of you before. What do you do? So say you guys are on the show next week and you're our guests here. You're having that opportunity then to talk about what it is you guys do, any events that you might have coming up. And then that way then we just put it out there. And as we build up an audience, people will then start to, hopefully listen and think, oh God, it's giving that sort of wider voice for community organisations, for businesses.
Brilliant idea.
And so I just think we get a big following on Facebook and we get a lot of views. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that...
Don't be modest now, Mick. Tell them how many views.
Tell them. In the last 28 days, we had 250,000 views, on our Facebook page. Yeah, that is... that is pretty good in all honesty. You know what I mean?
It's really good.
Yeah,
It's
I think you're playing
good.
that down, to be honest.
Yeah,
really are.
So the idea is that if we can get a podcast going, so and talk about different topics, have different conversations. Because, like I say, where we do the men's group, there's many a times where guys have been sitting on a night time and they've just been, having a little play around with the podcasting. Now, we haven't then actually done any recordings or done it, but I just think then we've had many a time when the guys have turned around and said, oh, why don't we talk about like mental health or talk about something like that? We could have topics on that then. Do you know what I mean? We actually had a full-blown discussion the other week about prostate cancer on the men's group because we're actually running a project at the moment for the NHS, doing awareness signs. Yeah. And I just thought, what a great thing then if we were all sat around and we were talking about that. And some people, might find that interesting. They might be going through something themselves or know somebody who is. And I just think if we just put different topics out there, or even if people say to us, would it be good to talk about this, or could I come on and talk about this? There might be people out there now who specialise in certain things who might think, I'd love to come on show and talk about, what we're doing or what we've got up and coming, and you know what I mean? So
the thing what I believe is the more this reaches out and you are branching for mental health or getting people to come in and talk about their mental health, it'll help people you don't even know it's helping. And that's the thing. 100%. Sometimes just listening to someone going through the same thing you are is a huge, huge factor in their life.
100%. Yeah, definitely. And there'll be people now who will be listening to this podcast thinking, I know where you're coming from. Do you know what I mean? With it, it is a big thing out there, and I just think, all as I want with this is I just want it to be something that it's like this is our first one. So we've, as you guys know, how many attempts have we had at doing podcasts?
We've done 3 intros, 4 attempts.
I'm not on about in the last 10 minutes. I'm on about...
All right.
I'm talking about in general, but yeah.
I'd hate to think going back how many, because literally we have had weeks and weeks of just one problem after another, technical issues, and then software issues, hardware issues, and just issues. And
an empire can't be built in a day.
No.
Well,
you're going to have loads of setbacks. And then once it's perfect, it's perfect.
I don't know if
it can never be perfect. It can never be perfect.
Yeah. So that's the idea behind this. And it's obviously this is our first one. We don't want to go too much, into things. I don't want to talk too much about, So Mindful Crafts, because we'll put bits in as we're going along. Do you know what I mean? The idea is I want this to be, not just about what we do. I want it to be about what everybody does. I really want this to be that community outlet podcast where it's for everyone. And I just think in time, as it builds, hopefully organically, it'll just grow into something that becomes a regular feature where people listen to, and we start covering lots of topics that'll relate to, different people. So
my question for you is, as you've just said, that you want everyone to be involved around the area, talk about the businesses, what they're doing locally, about mental health. So I'm guessing you've got a target for the type of businesses or people you want on this podcast on a regular basis.
I've not got any, there's nothing I'd rule out or anything. I think I just want it to be open, for everybody, So it's like anybody who just contacts and says, oh, I'd like to come onto it because I'm doing this, or I'm just setting out in business, or I work with vulnerable people, or we have an organisation where we've got a big event coming up. We'd like to get it out there, because I think that's one of the big problems as well, as you guys will know, and even like ourselves, I think the advertising, the marketing side of things is very difficult to get right into, and it's to get people to know about the things that you're doing. So I just think having different outlets, different ways how people can find out about what you're doing. I mean, this podcast, if it starts doing well and weekly, that could be a big vital line for some small organisation, let's just say, who's doing a little fundraising event that really want to get that word out there, coming on here, and then the reach that hopefully we're going to be hitting, it'll help elevate that. Do you know what I mean? And if that does do that, then that's achieved what we're all about trying to do here.
So can I ask you, for all these companies and people who want to reach out to you and be able to come on this podcast, how?
Well, number one, if they're listening to this podcast now, it's either going to be on Facebook or YouTube, you know what I mean, on TikTok. So you can leave a comment. We'll obviously pick up them comments then. Also, people could email us. So they could email at info@somindfulcrafts.co.uk. Or, you know what I mean? So you can drop us an email that way. WhatsApp 07711 065 992. That's our WhatsApp number. So, you know, drop us a WhatsApp. So we will get back to people. Do you know what I mean? And obviously we'd just love to hear, you know, why people would want to come on and what it is they're wanting to get out there. Then what we'll do then is we'll then make a regular event each week where we'll then be announcing, right, so next week, this is who we've got coming on the show. So people will know what's always going to be happening on the week after. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it sounds really, really good. And I think it's great that you're giving local community initiatives and businesses and, you know, people starting out doing anything, that bit of a voice, because there is studios popping up all over, like podcast studios and things, but sometimes the fees are so extortionate that people just can't like warrant getting on there because they're only just getting started. So,
and we've got no fees attached with this. I mean, ultimately, as a non-profit organisation, we rely on funding and donations to do what we're doing. And this here, we've had no funding or help with at all. We've literally put all this together ourselves, and we're going to try to see how long we can keep this going, you know, ourselves, just to give that voice out there and give people opportunities to, you know, to access these services for free. We aren't just saying, oh, it's going to cost you this to come on or whatever. It's no, it's free. We've just got to then figure out now going forward how we're going to keep funds or get some funds to allow us to keep doing this, because you guys obviously putting your time in and helping. We've got Rowan who's doing the editing and other things. So we have all these, you know, sort of people involved. When you're doing something like this, it's not just a one-man band doing a podcast and that's it, innit? You've got, you know, there's a lot involved with it, isn't there? Then there's all the editing afterwards and the other stuff. So it's, and I have absolutely no idea with the technology side. So,
I mean, how I feel, how you're talking about it is it's like a passion project for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the whole thing that we do here, the whole thing around So Mindful Crafts and what we do, and you know, it is a real passion. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I hope that comes across when people come in here and see what we do. Do you know what I mean? Because ultimately, at the moment, we're clearly doing something right, because at the moment, we're finding that demand seems to be greater than what we can sort of supply at the moment. Like, you know, our workshops, they fill up so fast, and you know what I mean? And it's great to see. So,
and just a little bit of a story as well is, as I mentioned at the start, you know, me and Courtney have been coming in delivering workshops here at So Mindful Crafts, and through doing that I've noticed a lot of different things that are going on, different workshops and things. And actually my mum was looking to get into something and she didn't really have anything local to her, and you know, struggled in big groups and you know, maybe didn't pick up things as quickly as other people did, so she felt a bit left out. But I've brought her down this morning actually to have a bit of a go on a sewing machine.
So she's sewing away while we're all sat in here talking.
With Linda and Sandra, and who were doing the workshop. And she's getting to know all the ladies, and it looks like she might be coming back each week. So for me, that's a massive win. And, you know, that's just one small thing where, you know, it's probably been hundreds of people where you've got the same sort of stories.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know you've got the story about the little boy who wanted to sew his own trousers.
Yeah, because we have we do workshops for schools, and Sir Thomas Wharton's a school that we do workshops for. We teach their students how to, you know, like life skills basically with sewing machines. And I've used that story when we were at that meeting the other day, because this one young lad, he's only about 13, and I was like, oh, it's great to see a lad on this sewing course. And I said to him, I says, what made you choose then doing the sewing course? And he's like, he says, well, I'm really short. He said, so every time I get my school pants bought for me, he says, they're always too long. He says, and we've got nobody in family who knows how to alter them. So I want to learn how to use a machine so I can, take up my own pants. And I thought, oh God, how cute was that? Do you know what I mean? So when you just hear little things like that, you just think, it's really good. Do you know what I mean? And but we have lots of stories here with lots of different things. Do you know what I mean? So, but like I say, which I mentioned, I think earlier about the men only group. That is an important thing to us as well. Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
going to bring that up as well. So as you were saying earlier, with the men's only group, you've been doing it for mental health.
Yeah.
You just said you were talking about prostate cancer.
Yeah.
As well over a week, but you guys have done quite a lot. You've made a song.
Yeah, we have actually. It's not been launched yet. We've just literally had a song put together that we've done and done the lyrics for and put together, which I do want people to listen to. You have to listen to the lyrics of it because it is really explaining about what we do on a Thursday night for the men only group. Do you know what I mean?
Don't want to interrupt, but are you saying that I can play an exclusive after this podcast?
Do you know something? I think so.
Give a little teaser.
Yeah.
No, not a teaser. I'm saying the full thing.
We'll throw the full version in. So anybody who's listening now, this podcast we're open to is only going to be around 25 minutes, half an hour long. So if you've been good enough to sort of stay with us and listen, or if you think we're getting a bit boring and you want to fast forward a bit, don't just come away from this podcast.
Please don't.
Listen at the end because we're going to let you actually listen to our song that we've created for our men only group Thursday night sessions, and honestly, let us know what you think of it. The response so far from people who we've just let have a little bit of a preview on of it's been excellent, like with it. So it's I'd love to know people's thoughts on it. But this is just what we do here. We're always just trying to be that little bit different. But it's only help from everybody around us and the volunteers we have here, and you guys, we help each other. And you know what I mean? And I think that's important. So.
I do. I think that's very important to have people around you. I think you got to work as a community to kind of get where you want to get. And that goes in business, in life, with your mental health, with everything else. Everyone needs it. Everybody. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd be able to do anything without you guys. Let's be honest.
Thanks, mate.
I know. I didn't want to be all sappy at the end.
Soppy stories are coming out.
Group hug.
Valentine's Day's already been, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're not getting a card.
Yeah.
But support networks are a big thing. There's, I don't think there's such thing as, someone who's been successful unless they've had, significant support from at least someone, whether it be family, friends, we
all need support,
whatever.
Don't we, at times? For somebody to breeze through life with no problems, no nothing, is that a real thing? Does that happen?
No.
Because we all have crap we've got to deal with.
Either anxieties or...
Your anxiety is an absolute killer, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
when people say lone wolf, even wolves go in packs. Do you got to remember that?
I like that, yeah.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, so find a good few people around you, even just one person sometimes is enough to, at these sessions, for instance, that I know you put on one here, whatever workshops you're doing, it's not always about just learning a skill. It's about, meeting new people.
It is,
and,
yeah. It's the socialising element.
Of course, yeah. So even that is support. And then you've got the secondary support from the tutors as well. So really you're getting like 2 or 3 types of support just from one session.
I think what makes a difference here though as well is the majority of our volunteers, have all had their own sort of like personal challenges and gone through things.
Of course.
So and so what ends up happening is when you're surrounded by people who've sort of been there, done it, and got T-shirt, they have more empathy, I think. So when you've got people who are coming along who might be just struggling a little bit at the moment, or whatever it be, I think to just let somebody, because we have people who come here just to be able to vent that little bit. They feel that comfortable in the space that they can just get off the chest a little bit what's bothering them. And you know what? That makes a huge, sort of difference when we've created something here that makes it in a comfortable environment enough for people to feel like then they can, rely on us, trust us and be able to open up. And we've had a few instances where we've then, helped people then through other means by the peer support that we have and the other connections we have. So if we've got anybody who's might have any certain things that they need some, that bit of extra help with, then we do have connections to be able to, help people that way as well. So
yeah, and I think it's good to mention as well, is one thing I've noticed here, and people have told me when I've been sort of passing by and having conversations, is there's a lot of people who've come here after being, not saying they should do, but obviously they should always come here first.
Yeah.
But they've been through the system with, various different groups and whatever, and it's not worked. And then they've just gone back into isolation. And coming here is the thing that's actually like brought them back to where they want to be, or even starting those steps. So,
100%.
If people think it's kind of, it's just another group that does it, it's not. Until you step in the doors, you really, we said this the other day, until you step in the doors, you really don't know what the place is like. It's like one big family, and, everyone's welcomed me and Courtney with massive open arms, and we're so thankful, even from helping us starting out. So, no, really just want to thank you for that, Mick. Thank you.
That's
and I must say, one of the episodes we did, I call it the lost ones. For now.
Yeah. Are we going to actually do at some point, we'll have to do like a bit of a podcast with all the, the outtakes in effect,
please,
because honestly,
it'll be
you'll be in
amazing.
stitches, because we've struggled, haven't we? You know what I mean? But there's been some laughs and tears along the way. So, but I
was going to say, in the lost episode, and hopefully I'm going to be able to release it with your permission.
Yeah.
We did have someone talking about their mental health, and
yes.
it was a very interesting story,
Yeah.
and that's something that people need to listen to.
Yeah.
So if with permission, I will hopefully bring that out.
We will, because what Courtney's talking about now is we did a few interviews, didn't we, with some participants that have come on our workshops, and one particular person who did a podcast just literally felt that relaxed. She just literally started opening up about all sorts of things, didn't she? And
Everything.
And it was a really interesting story. And I think what we will be doing over time is we will then be releasing these stories so you can actually hear things, from the people who this has helped. Do you know what I mean? And I think that'd be really good to listen to, because it's nothing rehearsed or out like that. It is literally straight from
raw.
the horse's mouth.
And
it's raw, so.
I generally think if we did bring that out, it would help other people.
Yeah.
Especially for the mental health side of things and how they feel. 100%.
Yeah. So that's it really. So I think, a big thank you to you guys, for helping with these podcasts. I'm hoping now that we've got our first, podcast in place for people to listen to. We'd really love to hear people's feedback, what they think of the, sound quality. Because we've been blessing with lots of things, haven't we? And bearing in mind, we are gonna get better with these as we go along, and we find our feet more, and and hopefully start to get a bit of funding behind us and other things. I think the world's our oyster in effect with this side of it. I think we could really make something good. So
completely agreed. And to end it, we're going to play a little song. So this is an exclusive from Mick promoting the Thursday Nights Men group.
Yeah, let us know what you think, guys.
So thanks, guys, for listening. It's been a pleasure.
It has.
It's been an amazing talk.
We've got there.
We've done it!
Enjoy the song.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
Another long week, head full of noise, too many thoughts running round inside. There's a light on down the street at So Mindful Crafts, where people meet, and no need for answers, no need for a plan. Just walk through the door, we'll shake your hand. Thursday night at So Mindful Crafts, pull up a chair, forget the past, no judgment here, just mates in time, a laugh, a brew, a song, unwind. If the world feels heavy, don't stand alone. Thursday night, you found a home. Some bring guitars, some drink a brew, some just sit quiet, that's alright too. Story shared or left unsaid still helps to clear a crowded head. At So Mindful Crafts, we understand you don't need fixing, just a hand. Thursday night at So Mindful Crafts, pull up a chair, forget the past, no judgment here, just mates in time, a laugh, a brew, a song, unwind. If the world feels heavy, don't stand alone. Thursday night, you found a home. Door stays open, come as you are, your place is waiting at So Mindful Crafts.